Okay, hey guys, sorry I was having some technical difficulties. Alright, so I apologize for the delay. Alright, so let's begin. Without further ado, let's begin the analysis for the pre-markets. Alright, so as usual, this is the disclaimer. Remember that everything in this webinar is educational in nature and nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Alright, so please remember to do your own due diligence before you guys trade. Alright. Okay, oh, it's a bit dark. Okay, without further ado, let's head on to the charts. Alright, so we are looking at, let's go to DXY. Okay, so for DXY, let me just reset this. So for DXY, we can see that we are right now on the daily time frame. Alright, we can, as usual, we should see how the market structure first, and of course we have a change of character right here as price has really booked past this level. And then what else shall we look at next, right? So we have a change of character, and then afterwards we have a break of structure, and then another break of structure. Alright, so this creates bullish momentum right now in the markets, so we can see a positive outlook for DXY. Alright. So since we have a positive outlook for DXY, let's take a look at what is a bullish setup that we can look for in DXY. Okay, so let's see. Alright, so right off the bat I can see that this is a valid. Okay, so this is a valid pullback support area, so I can label this as my, oh wait, yes, I should use this as instead, because we have multiple touches right here for DXY, and this should be my pivot area. Okay, so we will label this as my pivot area. Alright, then let's take a look at where is my first support and first resistance level. Alright, so for my first resistance level, let me see. Okay, we can use the 161.8% Fibo retracement level. Alright. Alright, so we have our first resistance level, which aligns with the 161.8% Fibo extension level. Alright, so we shall use this as our level to reference form. Then of course for our first support, I will place this actually at my first support area. Okay, why I chose this as my first support is that since price has broken, since price is now in a bullish momentum, we wouldn't expect price to come down to at least this first support. But of course, this is a precaution measure, right? Alright, so let's see if we also have. So at our pivot point, let's take a look at whether we do have a yeah, we do have a 100% FIBO projection at our pivot point, and I think we also have okay, so to put in line with our oops, let me see. Yep, so we have the 61.8% FIBO projection, FIBO retracement together with the 100% FIBO projection level at our pivot point. Alright, so this gives us bullish confirmation for us to take reference from for the other pairs. Alright, so this is the outlook for DXY. Alright, so now let's take a look at the outlook for euro dollar. Alright, so euro dollar has been has not been really respecting any levels as of, let me see, yeah, it hasn't really been respecting levels, because if you look at this area, this whole area right here, right, it just doesn't really make sense for me, to me, right? If you look at price action itself, and of course you can see right now, if you turn on the Ichimoku cloud indicator, we can see we have a bearish momentum coming for euro dollar. So what we want to look at is sells, potential sell opportunities in the market. Alright. Okay, so if we are looking at potential sell opportunities in the market, what I am looking at right now is, of course, this pullback area. Okay, you can see how price is already starting to touch this pivot point. Okay, but what we can look at is whether it will close below, and then after that we can look for sell opportunities in the market. Alright, so we shall place this pullback resistance as my pivot point. Then of course for the resistance level, for the resistance area, I will actually use this as my first resistance level, because the next level will actually be this, which I wouldn't really recommend, since our stop loss will be quite huge. I think it will be 150 pips, right? So I will just use this as my first resistance level. Alright, let me see. Yeah, if I use the projection, okay, we can't use projection as projection has already been wiped out. Alright, but I think we have a, let me see, should be 61.8. Yes, we have a 61.8% FIBO extension level, which aligns with our pivot point. Okay, so this aligns with our sell entry. Then of course, for our support, we will place this support at our, we will place this level as our first support area, because it is a swing low support level. Alright, I think it is pretty straightforward for this. See any other levels. Yeah, I think that is all for euro dollar. Should be pretty straightforward for this. Alright, so now let's move on to GBP USD. Alright, so remember guys, if you have any pairs that you want me to go through with you, do feel free to type it in the live chat comment section, and I'll analyze your pair for you. Alright, so for GBP USD, we are definitely looking at this pullback resistance level over here, alright, on the daily time frame. Alright, as for our first support, we will place it right over here, which is a swing low support level. And of course, for our resistance, our first resistance level, we will place it right above here, which is a multi-swing high resistance level. Alright, we want to keep it a little bit simpler, right? If you place it all above here, right, your stop loss will take quite a huge hit, right? So if you enter here, for example, if you were to enter let's say sales over here, right, it will take a very long time for price to actually reach this area. So we want to keep it a little bit simple. Price will either react at this pivot point or at this supply zone over here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is our GBP USD trade. Okay, so let's mark out our Fibo retracement levels. Oh yes, okay, so we also have this 61.8% Fibo retracement level, right, which aligns with our pivot point. And of course, I think we don't have a projection. Yeah, we don't have a Fibo projection, so we don't really have to use it. Alright, so I think it is pretty straightforward as well for our GBP USD trade. Quite similarly to Euro Dollar actually, right? Since we have the same, almost the same setup, right? Because these pairs usually work hand in hand, just that Euro Dollar might have a entry first as compared to GBP USD. Okay, so now moving on to USD CHF. Okay, so now let's take a look at USD CHF. Alright, so it might seem a little bit complicated, right? But we can safely say that this is a, oh wait, let me see. Yeah, this is a valid level. Okay, so let's start off proper. Okay, so for USD CHF, right, what we want to look at is possibly a buy setup. And why is that so? Is because we have a change of character right here since price broke past this level. Okay, so the next thing is we also have a break of structure. So we have a high, this is the high, higher low, higher high, price could create a higher low and form a higher high. Okay, so this is our analysis for USD CHF. Alright, so let's draw out our horizontal levels and any other indicators that we can watch out for. Alright, so for USD CHF, okay, so a common level that we have found out is this area. Alright, even though we can see price protruding here, but that's fine because we have multiple touches over here. This is the resistance, and of course price broke through, right? Then this is another touch as well. So we're looking at latest action, which is this area. So it was once a resistance, price broke through and could act as a support. Alright, so this level is what we are looking for. Okay, so we will place this as our pivot point. Then let's see if we have any Fibo retracement level. Should be at the 50%. Yeah, so we have a 50% Fibo retracement level which aligns with our pivot point. And then afterwards, okay, to find our first resistance level, let's mark out and see if there is any Fibo extension level. Alright, so it should be at the 127.2%. Alright, so we have the 127.2% Fibo extension level. Alright, so it's roughly about here, which is at the first resistance level. Okay, then let's see. I don't think we have a projection. Let me take a look. Oh yes, we do. Okay, let me see. Okay, so we have a Fibo projection right here. Alright, is the golden color right here, which is the 61.8% Fibo projection level, which aligns with the 50% Fibo retracement level. Alright, so this gives us Fibo confluence at this area. Alright, and as for our support, right, our support, we can place it right here over here just in case. Alright, which is a swing low support level. Okay, so the chart might seem a little bit complicated, but it's okay. You can review the video if it seems a little bit complicated. I've broken it down to make it a little bit simpler. Basically, we have this area right over here. Wait, let me see. We have this Fibo confluence area, and then just this first resistance area that we should watch out for. That's all. Yeah. Okay. Then of course, what we want to look at is of course a bullish entry for GBP. For USD CHF. Alright, so this is our buy setup for USD CHF. I think it's pretty simple if you break it down step by step. Okay, which I've done for you guys. Alright, so it should be quite straightforward. Okay, so I think should be fine. Any questions so far? If you guys have any questions, let's take 1 to 2 more minutes to see if you guys have any questions so far for either DXY, Euro Dollar, GBP USD or USD CHF. Alright. Okay, so now let's take a look at USD CAD. Okay, so for USD CAD, right, I think shouldn't really have any changes from our daily markup. Just that what we should take a look at is how price, we should analyze it once more. Okay, so we can see that price is in a bullish ascending channel. Alright, so this gives us the first confirmation that we should only look for buys. Alright, a lot of people make the mistake that you shouldn't that they don't follow market structure, but of course market structure is the first thing that you should look at in any pair. Alright, so this is the first level that you should look at for USD CAD. Alright. Okay, so I think it's pretty straightforward. Then after that, the next thing that you should look at is, of course, let me see, I don't think we have a, yeah, we don't have a Fibo retracement level, but that's fine. Then the next thing that we want to look at is, of course, where is a common level for our first support. Then of course it is this level, because we have multiple touches over here, acting as a support, acting as a resistance, support. Alright, so we shall place this as our first support level. Then of course for our first resistance, right, it is taking into reference from drawing a Fibo retracement level from this high all the way to this low, and then we can see that there is a 61.8% Fibo retracement level over here. Alright, so I think it is pretty straightforward for us to look at buys. Then of course one thing that I want to point out to you guys is that let's say price reaches our pivot point over here, right? Then you can take a look at this whole area actually, right? Don't really have to pinpoint right at this exact price, which is 1.391. okay, what you can do is you can wait for price to come. You can highlight this area, so we've marked out the levels for you guys, but of course you can add on your own flair to it, right? You can look at this level, then look at how price reacts to this area over here. So for example, if price reaches this area and closes above our pivot point, then of course you can enter and see whether you want to put your stop loss below this area, or however you like. Alright, don't really have to follow step by step. Okay, you can take a look at the analysis step by step, but of course have your own little flair to it, so that you can learn how to trade and how to enter. Alright, so this is my advice for you guys. Yeah, but of course you should take reference from all the analysis, so that you know the direction and of course which levels to watch out for. Alright. Okay, so this is for USD CAD. Alright, let's take a look at USD JPY. Okay, so for USD JPY, let me reset this a little bit. So we are definitely in a bullish channel, because we have bullish momentum forming and we are above the bullish Ichimoku cloud. Alright, so let's see if there are any levels that we can enter for USD JPY. Alright, so for USD JPY, the first level that I am actually looking at is this level over here. Alright, this level is a overlap support level. Alright, so we can see if you go to, yeah, you can see how price is already forming right here. So this is definitely my pivot point for price to bounce up above here and head towards a higher high, to form a higher high actually. Alright, so for my first support, I will actually place it, okay, let me see, I will place it below here. Then of course for my first resistance, where I will look at is this level over here, this ultimate level over here, right? Because this area, which is this level, okay, this level will soon be taken out by price, because once price creates, if you look at market structure, you can see that we have a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, potentially forming a higher high. Okay, so this is essentially what I am looking at for USD JPY. And yes, if I'm not wrong, we have a 161.8% Fibo extension level over here. Alright, so this we can mark out. Okay, so we can definitely mark out this area over here. So once price reaches this level, right, what we want to take a look at is see whether price will reach our supply, which is this is our supply area. Alright, and then let me see projection. I think if I'm not wrong, there is definitely a 78.6%. yeah, so we are at the 78.6% Fibo projection level, and we are looking for buys right around this corner. Okay, at least to this area over here. Alright, so this is the analysis for USD JPY. I think it's pretty straightforward as well. Those USD CHF, anything that is has USD at the front, right? Because it follows the US dollar index, right? So we are only looking for buys at these areas over here actually. Alright, so this is the analysis for USD JPY. Alright, so now let's take a look at NZD USD. Okay, so for NZD USD, it's definitely moving very slow, right? Okay, so now let's take a look at where price might end up at. Okay, hopefully price will be able to move a little bit faster. Okay, let's take a look at any levels that price could react to. Alright, so we can see that price is definitely moving up over here. Alright, so what we can take a look at is this level, this pullback resistance area over here. Alright, so this pullback resistance level over here, then of course let's take a look at whether there is any Fibo retracement level. Okay, so it aligns with the 50% Fibo retracement level. Then of course for our, oh sorry, this should be my pivot point. Okay, then as for my first resistance level will definitely be at this swing high resistance level over here. Okay, Then let me see, I think there is also a projection. Yeah, 78.6% feeble projection. So safe to say, once price actually reaches our pivot point, right, we will definitely take sells over here, right? It is recommended to take sells, right? You don't necessarily have to take sells, but I would take sells at this area. Why? Is because we have feeble confluence right at this area over here. Okay, so once we have feeble confluence, this gives us extra confirmation that this sell entry is valid. Alright, so this shall be my first support as well. Okay, then of course we want to end it off with a bearish arrow. Okay, pretty straightforward for NZD USD. Alright, so now let's take a look at let me see if I'm missing anything out. It shouldn't be. Yeah, I think that is fine for NZD USD. Okay, so for AUD USD, okay, let me just remove this. For AUD USD, right now, price is definitely bearish. You can see how price, let me turn on the Ichimoku indicator. Alright, you can see how price is creating bearish momentum here. Alright, and it is below the Ichimoku cloud. So what we want to look at is, of course, sells, whether there is any sell opportunity out there in the markets. Alright, so this area, okay, so this area, let me see. Okay, so this area is definitely a level that I want to put at for my pivot point. Alright, because what we want to take a look at is firstly market structure, right? Price created a low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, alright, and possibly a lower high to form a lower low. Okay, so this is my so that's why I'm looking for sells for AUD USD. Alright, usually in NZD and USD, NZD USD and AUD USD, most in the same direction, but let's take a look at where it might actually end up at. Alright, so for our first resistance level, of course I'll place it above this high. If you look over here, it aligns with this first resistance level. Alright, so ultimately, oh, and of course for our first support, right, I'll place it right here, just a little bit safer because price is a bit too close to where we want to put it, right? Assuming we want to place it right here, right, it'll be a bit too close. Okay, so this is our first support. Alright, then for okay, we don't have any feeble retracement level as price, let me see. Yeah, even if I mark it out over here, oh, we do have a retracement level. Okay, so we have a level right here, which is this 78.6% feeble retracement level, which aligns with our pivot point, right? Then of course I think projection wise, let me see. yeah, we don't have it. Okay, so I would like to use the projection, but we don't, it's not close at all. Okay, so we only use, let's only use the 78.6% feeble retracement level over here. Alright, so what we want to look at is, of course, sell entries towards the first support level. Alright, so I think this is pretty straightforward for AUD USD. Let me see if I missed anything out. Draw my projection. If I mark out the projection, yeah, I think okay, it's fine. I think we can use the 61.8% projection as well, right? It's not too far off. It's only about 3 pips. Oh, sorry, 12 pips. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can use it. We can use that. Okay, so let me just highlight this area. Okay, I think for our support, let's place it slightly here. Yeah, I think this makes more sense. If we are looking for sales, right? If we are looking for sales right at this area, our target shouldn't be too far off, right? Our target should be here, just in case price doesn't react. Just in case price touches here, let's assuming our first support is right over here, right? And price reaches here at the end, right? Let's say our take profit is over here, right? But price hovers here and then reverses. We wouldn't want that to happen, right? So let's place our first support over here. Okay, so then again, these are all just levels to reference from. Yes, so it's up to you how you want to place your stop loss and your take profit levels. Okay. Alright, now let's take a look at oil. Alright, so oil is a little bit oil is not really moving like how I thought it would move, right? It's taking a long time to actually move to my levels actually, right? Okay, so if you were to look at how oil is moving right now, okay. Oh yes, of course. After oil, I'll move on to gold. Alright. I think is hi Nick. Yeah, I think oil is actually a pretty hot topic, I would say, right? But anyways, why I picked this as my pivot point, right, is because there are multiple touches right here. Okay, so that is why I would say this is a valid level for oil to actually bounce off from. Okay, so this is, let me see, I think this also aligns with the 78%. Yeah, this also aligns with the 78.6% feeble retracement level at our pivot point. Alright, so this gives us confirmation that we want to enter. Yeah. Then of course, let's keep the first support a little bit tighter. We'll place it right at this low over here. So the prices for oil is not doing too well. I would say it's been fluctuating quite a bit. yeah, so the oil markets are not doing too good. All right, so I wouldn't say this is a pretty medium risk trade if it comes down to it, right? Okay, I think if you mark out projection, yeah, we don't have projection. Okay, so that's all for oil. Okay, now let's move on to the fun part. All right, so let me just break it down a little bit more for you guys. Okay, so you can see right now, gold, right? Gold is definitely due for a correction towards the downside, I would say, right? So the first thing that I look at is, of course, market structure. So if you go to H4, you can definitely see that firstly, this is a change of character. Alright, secondly, we have a break of structure. Then of course right now, price, gold likes to do this, right? Of course right now, what we want to look at is this area, this whole area. So this whole area is just waiting for price to break out of this consolidation zone. Okay, so if I go back to the daily time frame, right, I want to see price react to this level, which is a pullback. Which is a pullback resistance level over here. Alright, so this is my pivot point. Then if I were to mark it out, okay, it aligns with the 38.2% Fibo retracement level. So once price comes to this level, we will definitely want it to close below. Alright, and close below, at least on the H1 chart. Alright, so if you can set a alert over here. So once price reaches this level, right, you want it to close on the H1 chart. I think H4 will be a bit too much, but H1, so what you want to see is for price to close below. Okay, then form another bearish candle. Then this is a confirmation right here that we can take sells. Okay. Alright, so I think for this trade it will be pretty exciting, right? This decides whether where gold will go, whether it will continue upwards or whether it will continue to fall downwards. Alright, if you go to the H1 chart, right, you can see, yeah, if you go to H4, you can see price is just waiting to take action, right? Either breaking out of the consolidation zone towards the upside or towards the downside. Okay, then of course for my resistance level, I wouldn't place it like so high over here, right? The next area that I will definitely look at is this area, which is a another pullback resistance level. Alright, then of course let me see. Yeah, it doesn't align. Okay, so I think we can just use this. Then of course my support will be right over here, right, which is at the swing low support level. I think you could also place it right here. Yeah, this makes it an overlap support level. Okay, so I think for gold, right, what you can look at is, of course, we do the analysis on the daily time frame, but you should take your entries either on the H4 entry or the H1 entry. Alright, this is what I can take a look at for Go. Okay. So any questions so far? I know that Go sometimes might be a little bit confusing for you guys, or you guys might have differing opinions. So let me know what you think, whether this this analysis could work out for you guys, or if you have any questions, right? You can ask me right now so that I can attend to your questions. Okay? Because anyways, we have a few more pairs before we reach the end, so I want to engage with you guys a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, Nick. Nick, I also wanted to ask, right? Because you have always been attending the pre-market analysis almost every week, I would say, or even every week, right? What pairs do you normally trade on a weekly basis? Okay, let's take a look. Oh, okay. Yes, no worries. Later on you can definitely take a look at Oh, yes. Okay, later you can review the video again and see the analysis for DXY. Yeah. Oh, but wow, I guess you like those pairs that has a lot of volatility. I think so, right? Because gold and Bitcoin are the ones that actually have a lot of volatility in the markets. Okay, so oh yeah, sure. So let's do analysis for Bitcoin, right? Because I also want to. Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. Okay. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. So for Bitcoin, right? What I am actually looking at is hopefully I think I think Bitcoin will also have a sell off actually. Oh yeah, JPY is kind of user friendly. I actually do like to trade GBP, JPY. Yeah, like pound yen. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin itself. Alright, so for Bitcoin, okay, right off the bat I can see that this is a pullback level that Bitcoin could react from. Alright, so this is my pivot point. Yeah. Yeah, GBP JPY. Yeah, but right now it doesn't really go the way that I want it to. I don't really like it as of right now, but I used to really like USD JPY and GBP JPY. Yeah, those are my favorite pairs. Okay, yeah. Okay, so for Bitcoin, right? If you look at the pivot point, this is a pullback resistance. All right, and why I would like this is because apart from that, right, we also have a daily fair value gap over here. Okay, so price could either react to our pivot point or this daily fair value gap. Alright, okay, then what I could look at also is this level right over here and 50%. Okay, so the 50% is slightly above our pivot point, but that's fine. We can use this as our reference. Alright, then let me see if there is any projection. Yeah, right off the bat I can see that there is a 61.8% Fibo projection at our pivot point. So since we have a Fibo confluence right over here, right, we have 50% retracement and 61.8% Fibo projection, right? So this gives us confirmation that once price goes here, there is a high possibility of it going back down to our towards the downside. Alright, so for a first resistance level, what I could look at is of course this level over here. Okay, then for our first support, what I will look at is this swing low support level over here. So all these levels could easily be marked out. Alright, so these are the levels that I am actually looking at. Then we want to take sells over here. Okay, I think it's pretty straightforward for Bitcoin. Yeah, actually DXY is, yes, you are right. Because of the US policies and whatnot, all the news and all the hoo-ha that is happening right now because of you know who, right? Yeah, there is a lot happening right now, and DXY is pretty unpredictable, I would say, and not moving in a way that not really respecting the technical part of it. It's respecting the macro part of it, you know, like all the news and all that stuff, right? Yeah, so I would say that's the reason why a lot of pairs are not going in the direction that a lot of people want it to. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is the analysis for Bitcoin. So I've done the analysis for Bitcoin and all DXY and all the majors, and of course oil and gold. Right, so yeah, any questions so far? Right, any last burning questions before I end off the session? Oh yeah, Nick, I also wanted to ask, what time is it there for you right now? Are you in the is it 9 p.m. for you? Oh, VXY. Okay, okay. Okay. Oh, in the morning. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay, for the volatility, you mean the volatility index or just volatility in nature? Are you talking about like volatility index or? Yeah, I can't seem to find it though. yeah, because for IC markets, right, yeah, I understand, but I can't seem to find it. Okay, let's just use this as an example. I would say, yeah, I would say I would recommend to not touch it. Okay, might seem a little bit too simple, but I would say based off one look, right, I would say don't touch it, right? I've seen a lot of people burn their hands for volatility index, right? But yes, my recommendation is not to touch it. Okay, yeah, I've seen people flip accounts very well with it, but a lot of people have lost money because of VIX index. Yeah, so my recommendation is you can maybe trade small lots for the fun of it, but you can see how volatile it is and how it is not respecting a lot of price action, right? Don't really know how it works, but yes, my recommendation is not to touch it. Okay, yes, yeah, but it's an interesting index to look at. Yeah, okay, so that's all from me to you guys. All right, so as usual, yeah, thank you guys for joining into today's pre-markets live analysis again, and of course for your support every week. All right, please remember to stay safe and trade safe. Okay, so that's all from me to you guys, and I shall see you guys in the next episode. All right, so take care and bye bye.